Morning, folks. I'm Dave Canterbury with Self-Reliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School. And out here at the Pathfinder School in Southeast Ohio, we teach lots and lots of classes from intro to basic to intermediate to advanced survival, ropes and rigging, intensive navigation, wilderness first aid, medicinal edible plants, and lots of other classes you can find under the training tab at selfrelianceoutfitters.com. We look forward to seeing you for a class in 2025. Bear in mind, these classes do not require large amounts of gear purchases for the most part to come to these classes. If you look at our intro and our basic level class, a knife, a few expendables, and a poncho, and you're pretty much ready to go. Other than your personal items, we provide the rest. When it comes to the intermediate level, we expect you to have some equipment, but that equipment list is very small, it's very basic, and it does not cost a lot of money to buy that equipment, and the same equipment list carries over to the advanced class. So if you're looking to come to a class here in Southeast Ohio at the Pathfinder School, you're not going to have to spend a lot of money to do it beyond the price of the class and getting here to do so. Now, today's topic, watch navigation. We talked a little bit about this the other day in the experimental forest, and we used a bush pot lid to simulate a clock face. And really anything you can draw a clock face on will work for this, or an analog watch if you're wearing one will work the same way. And what I want to do is I want to kind of backstep on this video and talk to you about the age-old practice of being able to find a southern direction with your watch. Because lots of people have seen that posted from survival manuals and things like that all over the internet, but they don't understand why it works or how it works. And that's the important thing to understand, because that will lead you to easier navigation using only a watch. So let's talk about that. Now, once you've got your hour hand pointed at the sun, and it wouldn't matter where that hour hand was, we just happen to have it pointed at 2 o'clock to make the math easy for this example. Halfway between there, or 1 o'clock, is now pointing in a southern direction. So this is south, okay? That's the easy methodology. But what it really does is it gives you that southern direction. And then, of course, you could, do an about face and be north, do a left face, right face, east, west, all that kind of stuff. But to be able to kind of use this for navigational purposes and get a more accurate bearing than just a general cardinal direction, you need to understand why this works the way it does. And the reason it works the way it does is because what you're doing is you are duplicating the watch face to turn it into a 24-hour clock and creating a protractor with that watch. And that's the important thing to understand, because on your watch face, if you look at it, and it's divided into 12 equal segments, that represents 24 hours because the hand has to go around twice, okay, or 24 hours on a 12-hour clock face. Now your clock face is broken down into 24 equal segments because you have the half-hour marks in there, which are here and here. Now, once you break that clock face down further and put the half-hour marks in there, now you've doubled that clock face and you've made 24 hash marks on that clock face instead of just the 12. And that's where the half comes in, because that's what's required to turn this watch into a protractor. All right, so what's really happening here is you have to understand, first of all, that the sun moves approximately 15 degrees every hour in a 24-hour day. 15 times 24 is 360 degrees. Your watch is broken up only into 30-degree increments without the half hour in there. Once you put the half hours in there, then you have 24 equal segments. So when you point your hour hand at the sun and you take halfway between noon or 12 o'clock and the hour hand to get your south, now you're breaking the geometry down to angles. It's no longer time, it's angles. If this is 2 o'clock and the sun was actually centered at noon, and it probably wasn't, it was probably a little before, a little after, and again, some of that depends on daylight savings time. You have to take that into consideration. But for sake of general discussion, let's just say that noon is when the sun was in the south. And that created a 90-degree angle from where you were at to the east-west line where you're standing on the earth, okay? That 90-degree angle is what's important, because you're saying that it's 2 o'clock now, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 6 o'clock, which is actually going to be your horizon line, there are 4 hours, all right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 4 hours there. 4 times 15 degrees equals 60, all right? So to create the 90-degree angle on your protractor, not your watch face anymore, we've turned this into a protractor now, we need 30 more degrees to equal 90, okay? So if this 1 hour is divided into half hours, and now we've got 24 equal marks, then we have 15 degrees, 30 degrees. And now added to this difference between here and the horizon line, which is 60 degrees, if you have 4 hours left of daylight, and you add 30 degrees to that, now you have 90. And so that's where that halfway between comes into play. And so once you understand that you're looking at it as a watch face for directionality to the sun, and after that it becomes a protractor, now you can do things different. So once we figured that out, okay, now we've got our watch face here. We've got 12, 1, 2, 3. And down here is 6, 7. This is our south-north line. So once we've established that, now, if this is our clock face, excuse my circles here, 12, 1, 2, 3, and we say that 1 o'clock is south, right? Then we go down here and 7 o'clock becomes north. And now all we need to figure out with that to get our east-west line is, given that this is 30 degrees in between each one of the major marks on the watch face, right? So from here we go 30, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90, and that becomes our east-west line, okay, between 10 and 4. Now that we have that, we can start to figure out offsets to get degree readings that we want to travel on. So once we understand that we're taking that watch at face value for time, and we're using those same hours at face value for how many hours the sun's up, how many hours the sun's down from that horizon line of 6 o'clock, and beyond that, it becomes a protractor. That's where we get it right, okay? So we have to understand that. Let's just take another example and say that real quick, just to make sure that we understand what we're saying. Let's take our watch face here, and let's just say that the sun is over here. Let's say the sun's here. And so now we're pointing our 3 p.m. hand at the sun. This is 6, all right? And what we're saying is that halfway between this and noon is south. Well, the only thing we have to do is figure out how many hours the sun's been up or how many hours are left, okay? And that will give us that calculation. If it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun's going to hit the horizon at 6. 3 times 15 is 45. So we need 45 more degrees to equal 90. All right? What that means is that if this is 3 p.m. and we back up 45 degrees from that, or 2:30, 2, 1:30, 1, 12:30, 12, okay? This being 12. So we back up 45 degrees, 15, 30, 45. That should be south, okay? We're taking the watch at face value at this point. As soon as we decide we're going to now use this as a navigational device, we have to break it down to a protractor. So once we figured out it's 3 p.m., once we figured out there's 3 hours left of daylight, or it's 3 hours past noon, and we want to back up to find that southern direction, once we take that watch at face value for those calculations, and we take time of day as a given for those calculations, this now becomes a protractor. And now it's 15 degrees for every one of those hash marks. You got to wrap your head around that. It's a little bit of a flip-flop right there to understand it, but that's why that halfway math works the way it does. Okay, so if you look at this a little bit different, it might help you understand too, all right? If you look at this as if it were a sundial, you'd have the horizon line here, and you have a line here, this would be south. The sun's arc would do this as it traveled from 6 to 6 on the horizon, and you're standing right here, okay? That's you standing right there, right? So what happens is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each one of these is 15 degrees. Because now you're only looking at this thing as a horizon. You're only looking at it in 180 degrees because this is all night. So we don't count that at all right? So these are 15-degree increments. But when you're looking at this as a whole, it changes things to this being 9, this being 3, this being 1, 2, and those halves become your half-hour marks, okay? You've got to wrap your head around that to understand the difference between apparent time, hours of daylight, and actual degrees, and how that changes from a timepiece to a protractor, and how they flip-flop. Once you wrap your head around that, you got this. So just to get the math in your head rolling right, okay? Let's say we've got our watch face here, and the sun is, let's just say the sun's over here now, okay? And we're pointing, our hour hand is pointing at the sun, okay? If this is 12 and this is 6, then we've probably got 10 facing at the hour hand, okay? And again, you've got the same situation here where if the sun's been up 7, 8, 9, 10, it's been up 4 hours, that's 60 degrees. You need to add 30 to that to get to 90. Half is 15, 11 is your 30 degrees, and south is there, okay? It works the same way. And it works the same way in the evening and the same way in the morning, all right? It's just opposite sides of things at that point. But understanding that is very, very important to getting the concept of navigating with a watch, because then you can break it down to those 15-degree increments for navigational purposes. You can also use that watch even more dramatically and break it down into the second hands, which will break it down to 6 degrees instead of 15 degrees. Remember that your watch is broke down into, if you're using an analog watch, seconds as well as minutes and hours. So if you have 60 seconds on a watch to travel 360 degrees, then if you take the 360, divide that by 60, it equals 6. That means every second, so 1 second on your watch equals 6 degrees of measurement on the protractor. So if you're using your watch as a protractor, 1 second mark on your watch is 6 degrees. So you could break down to 6 degrees, and if you had a big enough watch face, or you could see good enough and you could split those hairs in half, you could get that thing down to 3 degrees, right? You'd have to have a pretty fair-sized watch face to be able to do that. A wristwatch, you're not going to be able to do that with probably. But you can definitely get down to 6 degrees without much trouble, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a future video as well. I wanted to break this down a little bit for you so that you understood. Lots and lots of people know. You know, I point my hour hand at the sun, and halfway between that is solar south. Lots of people know that, but they don't know why. They don't understand why. And the why, and breaking things down to their most simple element, is what the Pathfinder School is all about. If we understand the why and how things work, then we understand how to manipulate that to give us further advantage. Because there's a lot more advantage to that system than face value of, here's the cut and paste out of my latest survival manual, and look at this, everybody, did you know you can do this? Most people know you can do that have any form of survival knowledge at all, or have read any books or watched YouTube videos. But most people don't understand why and how it works, and how to then manipulate that clock face to give you a navigational instrument. Okay, so this is exactly what sets the Pathfinder School apart from most other schools. I break things down so that I understand how to get the absolute most out of every single piece of equipment that I'm carrying, and everything I carry should be multifunctional. That's one of the reasons that we insist on the analog watch here at the Pathfinder School is because I'm going to teach you how to use that watch and manipulate that piece of equipment to get the biggest advantage from it that you possibly can. I hope this helped break that down a little bit and understand it a little bit, because we're going to move on from this to a third part and using that thing as a protractor for a map on the next video. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything that you do for the school, for family, for business, for all of the sponsors we have, our affiliates and friends. I appreciate you guys watching my other instructors and watching their videos as well. I have lots and lots of great content on my channel, but my instructors have great content as well, and I would encourage you to go check them out. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.